really interesting fight at women's flyweight. We have cast iron Cortney Casey representing Fight Ready MMA in Arizona, taking on Zombie Girl Priscila Cachoeira. And Matt, for Priscila Cachoeira, holy smokes, what a trial by fire to start off your UFC career. So she gets Valentina Shevchenko in her debut. And I remember before that fight, they were billing Priscila Cachoeira as this wild knockout artist from Brazil. Great striking, really lighting it up on the regional scene. I've never seen such a single-handed beatdown, I don't think, in my entire life. Valentina Shevchenko mopped the floor with poor Priscila. So then they think, all right, seeding-wise, where does she match up? They give her Molly McCann. She loses that fight. Then she takes on Luana Carolina, and she loses that fight. All right, so Priscila Cachoeira, maybe not in the top end of the women's flyweights. Well, that's fine. Then she fights Shanna Dobson. You know, the world beater Shanna Dobson that mopped the floor with Maria Agapova in her last time out. Well, Priscila Cachoeira goes out there and in the first round knocks out Shanna Dobson. It was insane. There was an outpouring of emotion from Priscila Cachoeira. It was a wild moment. It really was. So she gets another opportunity out here against cast iron Cortney Casey. You might look at that record of Cortney Casey and go, hey, that's kind of like Randa Marco. She's 9-8, pretty salty. She's probably not all that good. If you don't know Cortney Casey, you might think, oh, she's garbage. She's not garbage. She's very good. She's had a run in the UFC similar to the Tekashi 6ix9ine song Billy. Whole squad's full of effing killers. I'm a killer too. And she's taken on some really tough names, Matt. I mean, Cortney Casey has fought Jessica Aguilar, Randa Marcos. Hey, name drop. But her losses. Joanne Calderwood, Siohei Ham. She lost to Pearl Gonzalez on the regional scene. Lost to Claudia Gadelha. Lost to Felice Herrig. Lost to Michelle Watterson. Lost to Calvia. Lost to Jillian Robertson. Cortney Casey's faced some pretty damn good fighters at 15 and at 25. Maybe she hasn't won them all. I mean, she beat Jag. She beat Angela Hill. She beat Mara Romero Barella. No longer in the UFC. But Cortney Casey is one of those fighters where every time out, I almost now expect to see a different wrinkle in Cortney Casey's game. She goes out and fights Mara Romero Barella where it's like, hey, Romero Barella, if we're boiling this down to the two simplest things, Mara Romero Barella is a grappler. Cortney Casey's a striker. And then Cortney Casey goes out and submits Mara Romero Barella and surprises poor old Craig. And then I picked her to beat Jillian Robertson. I looked like a fool. But all in all, this fight, I mean, Cortney Casey moves up in weight. She was a bigger straw weight. She still typically has an advantage at 25. Against Cachoeira, they match up fairly similar. I'd like to see them on weigh-in day to see who's actually the taller of the two and to eliminate my number that's in front of me. But overall, it's a very interesting fight. To me, just based off of what we've seen from Cortney Casey, a much more well-rounded fighter. Cachoeira, though, definitely does have that power. We saw it in the last fight out there. She's kind of as advertised from before the Shevchenko fight. Kind of reborn, if you will, coming out of a great gym down in Brazil, Pahana, Vale Tudo. I'm looking forward to this fight because, again, it's another seeding fight for 25. What do you make of this one?
So I am really looking forward to this. I think it's a fun fight, but I have no idea what we're going to get from it. And it's not because there's a lot of unknowns surrounding either athlete. I know what I'm going to get from Cortney Casey. She's going to throw kicks at range. She's going to mix in her takedown. She has decent jiu-jitsu. And I know what I'm going to get from Cachoeira, like you had mentioned. She's got really big power. She has good jiu-jitsu. She's on top. If she's on bottom position, much different story. But I do think a lot of her story does come down to that Valentina fight because that's what most people know her from. She's the, recipient of one of the worst beatings in MMA history. Cortney Casey is this really weird example of when you fight the highest level of fighters, the Angela Hills, the Felice Herrigs, you just kind of fight them all to a split decision. And it's not that you look amazing or you look terrible. It's just Cortney Casey always does the same thing. Very steady output. She doesn't have her ramp it up or really, her cardio never fades as the fight goes on. Very steady. She's got kind of a mean streak to her where she will swear at her opponent and kind of, get Diaz-esque, but it's not something that you really ever see coming, and then all of a sudden Cortney Casey's flipping off her opponent, and you're like, it's one of these fights. So I do think Priscila can catch Cortney Casey on the feet, and also Cortney Casey has to win this fight. I don't think the UFC is going to keep a 9-9 fighter on their roster. I know they had kept Kaylin Curran around after
Rachel Ostovich.
Yeah, exactly. There's been an example, or a few of them at least, of fighters with negative
Amanda
records.
Bobby Cooper.
Again, but that's not really a group that you want to be, associated with. I think Cortney Casey has all the tools to get it done, but I don't like her being as big of a favorite as she is. Because Cortney Casey, and not to steal your thunder, but Cortney Casey being a 2-1 favorite, she's not really a finishing threat. It's not like her jiu-jitsu is at such a level where if the fight's on the ground, she can win by submission, or she has such good kicks and such good boxing on the outside that if she catches you, she can put you down. She's very below average power, I would say. She is a good striker and she can mix it up on the feet, but it's not like she's going out there putting people down with head kicks. For Priscila, if she can use her physical size, because she is still the bigger fighter out of the two. Casey was a bigger strawweight moving up to flyweight, but I do still think that Priscila is going to have the size and physicality advantage over her. And if she can really implement her wrestling and get on top of Cortney Casey, I think we can see a really interesting fight from the underdog.
And the thing that I like, and you kind of touched on it, and so did I earlier, so I'm not trying to pump my tires, but you're going to see in these Fight Night Picks videos a little bit inside of baseball. If this is the first time joining Fight Night Picks, A, we appreciate it. Toss a like and the sub. We don't normally say that. But B, we're making a lot of changes to Fight Night Picks. So you're going to see next to us over there, the screens are going to be switching up. You're going to have stats. You're going to have different metrics that are going to pop up. And one of the things is that Priscila Cachoeira, her striking differential, that's total significant strikes and the averages of them per fight. Hers is a negative 4.09. You're not going to find a worse negative so far in somebody's UFC career. But it's so bogged down by those first 3 fights. And then her last time out, she knocks out Shanna Dobson. So there is that. For Cortney Casey, she's efficient. She's very jack-of-all-trades-esque in her approach. And again, like you said, I don't like the odds here. Cortney Casey open a minus 250 favorite. She's now around a minus 233 over on best fight odds. For Priscila Cachoeira, opens up a plus 210. She's now a plus 187. If we have a look over on Tapology, total votes, 735. 79% of voters going with Cortney Casey. 83% saying she's going to win by decision. That's definitely the safe pick, and I think I'll go with the safe pick as well, just due to the fact that you have the much more well-rounded fighter. Priscila Cachoeira, though, was in that kill or be cut type of scenario in her last fight out. She killed. So for Cortney Casey, does she go out there like an absolute world beater? No, I don't expect that. That would deviate from the median. This is a fighter that had a fight that was very controversial against the Michelle Waterson, where she lost by split decision. A lot of people, and I say a lot of people, thought that Casey won that. I think she definitely has the right blueprint to go out there and beat Cachoeira. And if she's as well-rounded as she can be and throws a decent amount of volume, I think she can get the win here.
I really can't disagree with that. I think Cortney Casey has all the skills to get the victory. I think she's a better wrestler out of the two, so she will be able to avoid a lot of the ground exchanges. I think at range, she should be able to pick up points as the fight goes on. And again, her output doesn't really shift. She's just very steady across the fight. So as long as she's able to do that for a full 15 minutes, she'll be able to get the decision win.
Matt, really looking forward to this fight. We both have Cortney Casey to get the win. Really sneaky card and a lot of fights that are going to fly under the radar. Our main event between Anderson Silva, the retirement fight, taking on Uriah Hall, one of my all-time favorites. I'm looking forward to this card. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt, as we always say.
Let's get into it.